So we're here with Paul, and you did was it Benny's Winners? What is
Yeah,
that?
Benny Winner, the Benny. So I do a show, the Benny Winner Show, and this was like a little promo video that I did.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. What is it on? Like, what do you do the show on? Is it on online?
I have a few episodes. So I had 4 dates at the Tank. Right now, I have no more dates lined up. And it's pretty much a character-based Jerry Springer show.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much took the formatted Jerry Springer and just added, I have a background in improv and sketch. So kind of combining all three of those. And I have, like I've said, a few episodes and on YouTube, and then I've been clipping them into shorts and stuff for YouTube and Instagram and
Cool.
TikTok. I'm on TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok, that helps too, right? Yeah. So it's a short. Does it ever all the other? But you said they're longer episodes on YouTube.
Yeah, so I have 3 up on YouTube, and it's the live show, and so kind of same thing. We do 3 groups, and I pick a theme for the show. So I've done desire, I've done circle of life, I've done exploration. Just I try to pick themes that you can have like very open ended for however you want to take it. And then I work with each group before the show on kind of coming up with the storyline, the characters, why we're going on the show. And then the show is like, I always say it's like Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like we know why we're there. We know where we need to get to, but it's all kind of improvised on how we get there.
Cool. That's always a cool concept. I got to be on the set one time for Curb, and it was interesting.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
My buddy did an episode of it. Yeah, that's a show I would love to just be a part of anyway.
Yeah, well, I've never seen anything like it, and it was so funny. Even all the stuff they don't put on, it's so funny. Do you have a lot of that where a lot of stuff they're like, oh, you didn't put it in the show, or you cut it out, or do you go live?
Not live. So the way I have 3 episodes on YouTube, and it's just straight from my phone. So pretty much uploaded right from the phone. So, the angles aren't the best.
Yeah.
The 4th one, I actually had 4 cameras set. I haven't even started with the editing yet, but 4 cameras set up. That one isn't on YouTube because I'm planning on trying to do, make it look like an actual episode with if you were to watch the show, they have the title banners and all of that. So that's my goal next, is to with the different angles and the cuts and stuff to make it like an actual episode, like you're watching it.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's such a fun audience. We get the Benny chant going, and I got a little security guard.
So it's a studio.
Yeah, I do it. I did the show at the Tank, and hopefully, they want to keep working and we can keep the show going. But yeah, at the Tank in Manhattan, which is a great little, nonprofit theater and everything. It's actually where I've improv for a couple of years, is how I knew about him. And then, it holds about 98. I usually have 20 to 30 people, but, hopefully keep it going and working on just building that audience.
Yeah, it must be a lot of fun. I love going to those live shows, and we miss it. There's not that much anymore, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And it's something so the way I've done it so far is once a month, and I'll get different casts and stuff, but every show is different. It's a different theme, different stories. And yeah, I mean, I always say it's just as much fun for the audience because they're chanted, it's their energy, and you could say that probably about every live show, but the show dictates on that audience energy.
Do you ever remember or ever hear of Richard Bay on the Richard Bay Show?
No, I don't think so.
He was a local, WOR TV when it was around. It was out of Secaucus, and it was basically a knockoff, one of the shows, Jerry Springer.
Yeah. Richard, I'll have to check him out. Yeah.
You probably stuff online on but it was really funny, but it was the local one. It was I'm pretty sure it was Secaucus, and I know a bunch of friends that used to go there all the time and just be in the audience to cheer and yell.
Yeah. I just moved out to Queens, so I was thinking about maybe looking into like the public access too and stuff because I have a comedy background, so like I'm like the Chris Gethard show, they started public access and stuff. So you're just always thinking of different ways to grow it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. And so you decided to like cut up in little shorts and then put it in festivals for
Yeah, so
out there.
the promo video I did, we did that, I guess about a year now, because I knew I was bringing the shows back, and I mean, I guess I can talk about it. It's kind of a parody of Goodfellas. So that opening monologue, as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Of course, that's my favorite movie of all time, man.
Yeah.
I got
and, we stole a lot from it, like the clips of like him looking out the window. Of course, like it wasn't, but for me, it was like looking in the TV. Like I try, and it was like I said, it started with as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a trashy talk show host.
Yeah.
So it's like, like I'm big Goodfellas, any of those like Italian mafia movies. And I thought this would be like a fun way to like incorporate it. And then I found clips online from like the actual Jerry Springer, Maury shows, just some of those wild moments.
Should do an episode of like old like Sopranos or mafia like background actors. You think that they're really mobsters, but they were just actors.
Right, yeah.
That exists.
Right. Live their life. We did that a little bit in the last one with Medieval Times. And it was like someone wanted to be part of Medieval Times thinking that they were real, like queens and knights and everything. Yeah, no, and it's cool too because it's like the performers are part of the process of coming up with the storyline, which I think keeps it exciting for them too because it's like they're part of the we're all creatives.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So you said you did stand up?
Yeah, I've done a little bit of stand up. I'm definitely more improv.
Improv.
Yeah, I'm from Charlotte, so I started there, and then I've been in New York now for like 5 years or so.
Oh wow.
So
is it tough in New York? Is it easier or tougher than this?
I mean, it's more opportunity. Definitely, of course, with still trying to, I guess, after COVID, like just seeing what's out there and stuff. But yeah, so when I first moved out here, I lived with my grandparents in Long Island. So, I mean, when I first moved there, I was doing the train an hour 15 one way, doing 10 minutes of improv just to turn around an hour 15, go back. But I was like, no, this is what I have to do. I'm in New York now. You got to get up as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just there yesterday. I was in the city, so it was good to be back. It's been a while. So a shark is broken, I saw. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm there, I work in Chelsea. Yeah, I'm in Queens now, but it's still, I got the L and the M, so it's like not that far to get to. So I'm in Manhattan, Brooklyn a lot and stuff.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
live shows, live comedy, nothing's better.
I do love that kind of. I know a lot of people in that industry, and I do love going to shows. It's been a while, but I love going to New York a lot to see a lot of either black box or stand up or improv or anything like that. So
and I work at Gotham Comedy, so like
I've been there many times.
Like watching, you get paid to watch comedy and stuff, and you're like, oh, this, and I did the same thing in Charlotte. I worked at the Comedy Zone, so I mean, I've been almost so much that I don't really laugh anymore.
Yeah,
it's like oh, that was a good joke, but like you almost watch it scientifically.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I was thinking, oh, that was good. I'll remember that though.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool stuff there. And then so you took you have other like shorts that you have out, or just this one here that you put together?
No, I think I'm up to like between 10 and 15 short films right now, and they're all within like 3 to 5 minutes or so. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like I try to do like scenes and stuff is like how it started. So I guess like 2020 is when I started kind of writing my own shorts, and they would start as me writing monologues, and then kind of from that going into short films where it's like one location, 2, maybe 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
That takes you a couple of hours to film. Just to, you know, again, and for me, it was more like I need stuff for a reel, for an acting reel and stuff. So it was like, you know, I've never been the type to sit and wait. So
no,
it's
I don't like it either.
right. Like, oh wait, no, I know how to write. Why am I going to wait for someone to write for me? Oh, I can, you know. And I had he actually just moved to LA, Jake. He filmed probably 90% of all my short films. He would film and edit them.
Cool.
So, but yeah, he moved to LA. He's doing well out there, but
that's good.
So, this one that's been
right
winning.
Now, so you know, it's really tough right now with all the strikes, but you know, stand up is still there, improv is still there.
Yeah, they said actually in the clubs, like the demand for stand up and stage time right now, it's like they almost can't get them all on because it's like they've got nothing else to do. So they're all like, oh, let me get on. Wow. And, you know, I mean, hopefully live performances, no matter where the industry goes, people are always going to want those experiences and like seeing the live shows and stuff.
Yeah, I was so cool. Not this time I went to LA, but the last time I was with some people. I made them go to the Comedy Store because I've never been. And I was like, we have to go. And they're like, I don't want to go. We don't want to go. And then I made them go. And they're like, thank God you didn't go.
I know. I only went out there once. And for some reason, I didn't do because I always said if I moved to LA, and I don't know about now, just but the Groundlings, you know, because I'm a comedy history buff. I mean, I just love everything about it. So the Groundlings, which is where like Will Ferrell, Kristen Wiig, you know, a bunch of people, and then the Comedy Store are 2 places. And I don't think the Improv is still there anymore, but I'm not sure. I don't think so. But again, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. But it's always cool to do that. And so it's cool. We're excited to have your short in the festival and play in I think it's in the Comedy Block. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it is. It's opening it up. It was the number 1 slot. I was like, oh man, I don't know if that's a lot of pressure or not.
It'll be fun. It'll be a fun set. You know, Brightside Tavern, they have stand-up comedy all the time. So
yeah, I'm excited to check it out.
If you haven't been, it's right across from Manhattan there.
I've been to Jersey City, Hoboken, and stuff. Never to Brightside Tavern, but you know, I'm just gonna take the path up and you know, try to hang out for most of the day, not just that.
A lot of filmmakers here, a lot of talent, a lot of fun people. I mean, we still do it because it's just so much fun. It's just we get everyone together and it's a bar. I mean, we have 2 floors of films playing and then we have a fun award show that gets out of hand. And
you probably too have had people that have been almost to, maybe not everyone, but like you see a lot of repeating faces like, oh, they made a new video submitted. Like
this year is a lot of people that used to come in the past. So it's almost like a big reunion. So we're excited about that.
Is this the first in-person one since, I guess?
No, we do it twice a year, so we've been doing it.
Okay.
The first one back was last summer, so we did a summer last year, and that was I couldn't believe how many people came out for that. And then we did a March one, and now this is our next summer one.
Right.
But, last summer, I mean, I guess everything was winded down. It was so crowded.
But that's what you want, you know, and it's you know. And people too, like you probably get people like who don't know any of the filmmakers either, which is nice, you know.
Yeah.
So, we heard there was a film festival here. Wanted to check it out.
And it's a lot of films. In 2 days, we got 100 films playing. So the first day, Saturday, is just really, it's got students. We got high school sets and college, and they do an award show. And then we have a fun Saturday night, like horror, which they come out in droves, horror people.
It's a cult following those things.
Yeah. So
especially if you get one of those like not B-roll, but like those B horror films or something that are more dumb than scary, but it's just a good time.
It was the best, and they're the best working on them. So I've worked on those type of films, and they are so much fun to work on.
Right, because everyone knows, it's like, oh, we're just having the time of our lives making this stuff, like, and that's what you want. That's why we do it.
Gets an audience. It's so funny, but it does, and everyone in the horror world just loves each other. It's crazy because I've been to horror cons. I'm like, this is amazing. So, But yeah, comedy. I love comedy. That's why it's a great set of comedy. But there's other comedy films throughout, but I tried to put a bunch together.
Yeah.
So
because you said there's going to be some people, like when they have those, I guess, themes or however like the horror people are like, oh, all horror I'm in, or all comedy, that's what I want to go see.
So it'll be interesting. It'll be a fun day. So we're excited about it. So be cool to be
a part of it.
Cool. Well, have anything else you want to add?
No, you could follow Benny Winter Show on Instagram and TikTok. I have TikTok just on my computer, only to upload so I don't get addicted. I go on, I upload it, and then I get off.
That's a good thing, because I never had it, but for school when I teach film, and during the pandemic we needed new things to do, and we needed like a way for animation. So TikTok had an animation app, and they all had phones, so I taught them how to do the animation on TikTok. So we got a school TikTok. So of course I'm on the school TikTok. So of course I'm addicted to TikTok.
Because they know you. And I would say it's easier to promote the show than myself. You know, like I don't want to if it's me on TikTok, I don't want to see it. But I'm like, well, it's the show. I'm trying to build the show. It's a different thing.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
And that's simply appalling if you want me personally on Instagram. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'll put this up. It'll take me a couple days probably or so. I'll get it up beforehand, and it'll be on our YouTube and our Facebook page for the website for the Brightside Film Festival.
Sweet. No, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think I got a friend coming out, so yeah, just to meet the people and meet new people and hang out.
Point really, and I could kind of care less about showing the films these days.
I know. I always say too, I've showed a few films like at festivals, and it's like I always get way more nervous like before a film than I do like improv on stage. And I'm like, well, if it's not going good on stage, you can do something to change it up. I'm like, film, that's it. So
it's there.
I know I'm gonna be like a ball of nerves before, just like, oh God, are people gonna like it?
But so well, thanks for joining me for a few minutes today. And
I appreciate this.
Cool. And I'm gonna bunch more to do tonight, and
all
see
right.
what after that.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. It was great meeting you.
Yeah, you too. All right. Thanks.
Have a good one. Bye.
So we're here with Joe Pepitone, and you had the Undesirables this time.
That is correct. Yes, that is correct.
I'm excited. I've seen it quite a few festivals, so we're excited to screen it.
Thanks for having us. I'm really excited about getting to this one because we actually shot our last movie at the Brightside.
Yeah,
we filmed there. We filmed a couple days there, and Jersey Devil. It was really, really cool.
Oh yeah, Jersey Devil. I said the last one. I was like, we made more films than it.
Well, yeah, the last one I talk about.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was just talking about that the other day because I was with Jack Mulcahy actually yesterday. But before that, someone else, because there's another short film that I was watching the short film for picking the movies, and I'm like, wait, I recognize that brick. And then I was like, oh my God, there's Tommy in the film. And I go, the last time I saw this, I was surprised because it was the Jersey Devil.
Tommy's a good guy. Good guy.
I was like, oh my God, Tommy again. But yeah, that was. He always talks about that scene that he did in that movie of yours.
Oh,
he's like, I got these women dancing on the.
He's a character. Yeah, he loved it. He did love it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so like coming back to the scene of the crime.
Coming back. I'm very, very excited about that. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, so we got a fun little block there. I think yours is the last film, or close to the last of the block to kind of finish it off. It'll be a nice little finish to the comedy set there. So, what made you come up with the idea for the Undesirables?
Well, a while ago, I did a movie called Stuck in the Middle, which I always, when I wrote it first, I said this would be a great series. Did it as an independent film, small little film. And
I heard of that. I heard of it, and I didn't.
Jack was in that too.
Knowing that you did it.
Yep. That was our little group. Jack was in that.
Oh.
So I was still wanted to. I thought it would have work with some legs. It had a series in it, so I finally got to writing it as a series.
Mm.
Liked it, put it together, got a good team around me, and we shot the pilot. We got the pilot so far, so we're looking forward to doing the rest of it.
Yeah, so you got the one down there, and I've seen it at a few other film festivals, and it's playing in a couple of weeks. Any other film festivals coming up, or is it on its tail end? And
This is kind of the tail end. We've been at Garden State. We did Kevin Smith's Modcastle.
yeah,
A lot of international stuff we did very well in. But this is, I think, it's kind of the end. I may look into the Cinefest in Atlantic City.
that's always fun. Yeah,
Yeah, Down Beach. We've
I'll
been
be
there
there.
a lot. So
I'll be there if they get my student films in. I put a bunch in. If they do, I'll be there.
Yeah, I may do that because I always had a good time down there when we put. So that might be it. We're hoping to shoot this thing at this point. Festivals have been great, but we're ready to go at this point.
So do you have an episode 2 written, 3 written?
I have 10 written. Season one is written. It's
Wow.
an arc. It's a cliffhanger. I got the whole thing ready to go. It just waiting for the world to come back.
Yeah, it's almost there. Well, now it's gone again.
Yeah, exactly. We had one thing. We actually shot during COVID, which was a little crazy.
Yeah.
And now we run into a shutdown of Hollywood.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not easy. I know SAG's giving out some contracts for some things, but it's not easy.
Yeah. So I'm saying. So we'll see how it turns out. I'm afraid it's gonna run for a while. It's feeling that way.
I was there yesterday in the city with everything, and I got the feeling that it's going to be for quite a while.
Yeah, I think both sides are digging in. Yeah,
but
we'll see. We'll see how it ends up. We'll see.
We're gonna have to just keep promoting as much as we can what we can promote, and then
yeah, exactly. We got to dance around that.
So, but can you shop it around still? Right? Can you shop or no?
I was talking to my producer. She when they came back before the strike started from Cannes, they said it was a little weird. It was a weird atmosphere where people were afraid. You could kind of talk about it, but really not making any deals at this point. Yeah. I'm hoping by when the film market comes around November, we're able to do some stuff. But right now, it's just like can't really pitch it.
No.
Yeah. So we're kind of stuck, spinning our wheels at this point.
Yeah. Would you be able to maybe get some kind of deal to make a second episode?
It's a possibility. I'd love to do that. I'd love to just keep billing wherever we can. I have a talks with my producer coming up this week, so we'll see. We're regrouping and seeing what we can do in the new world.
I'm gonna put a little bit more light on there. I don't know what happened there, but I started turning green.
Don't move.
Now it looked like they were making fun of me outside just before. They're like, "You're turning red." I'm like, "I know." Yeah. So, and then you got a great cast to this. How did you go about casting for this?
Terrific cast. My producer Tony D'Antonio and Lou Martini Jr., who are also in the movie, they knew a lot of the actors. They brought a lot of them in. Jay Muse was mine. I just took a shot on Jay. I've been a big fan, as you know, of Kevin and Jay. So I just took a shot, went to his agent, said we got this great little script, love to put him in the lead. He went for it, which I greatly appreciate from him because he didn't know us and didn't know anything about us. But he came on board. Like I said, Tony and Lou put the cast together. I grabbed some Penelope Lagos is from Jersey Devil and Stuck in the Middle, so she's my actress. I bring her along, and just they were terrific, and they got the best ensemble nomination, which that's what I'm thrilled about because they all deserve it. They were terrific. What a fun cast.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a cool film overall. Yeah, so, so that's what. Let's see what else. Let's see. So, what about your DP and all that kind of stuff? Where do you get that?
Oh, Corey Green shot the Jersey Devil with me.
Wow.
Yeah, I found him before we shot Jersey Devil. He came in. Interesting meeting. The producers of that movie brought him in. And I didn't know him, and I was directing. And the first day we're doing a location thing, and he's not saying a word to me. He's not talking to me. He's just taking pictures and stuff. At some point, he's got to like say hi. And eventually, over lunch, we started talking, and we became really good friends. And he's a great DP, and he did a great job on this. Did a great job on Jersey Devil, and I love working with Corey. Good guy.
How long does it take to film? What is it, about 25 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes?
This is 22 minutes. We shot it in 3 days. We were lucky enough. Our other producer, Rob Skimlin, I always get his name wrong. Skimlin Paglia.
That's the tough name.
Rob. I know. I've known him for years. I still can't get it. But he found an office in Connecticut that was it was a big office with nobody was in it until the next week. So we had 3 days in there of an entire office space to ourselves. So that was perfect for us to shoot that. Each office became a dressing room for the cast, so they have their own dressing room, which is nice on a little independent.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Everybody was, especially during COVID, everybody had their own space. And we shot in 3 days. It was a little small budget, a little time. You got to rush, you got to shoot, you got to get it. So it turned out really fun. It
What about your editing process? So did you shoot all? Did you have a lot of stuff you cut out, or not so much? Or
no, not so much. With time we had, we didn't have a lot of extra time. So a lot of what we shot is pretty much in there.
It also helps since you wrote it and you're directing. You kind of know what you want, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I don't leave a lot of room for let's try this or try that. This is what's on paper. Let's get it and see how it goes. So it worked.
Especially when you have 3 days to do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I can't Kubrick it. We got to move.
But how is the editing process for this? Do you have to
editing process? Corey Green does that too. Me and him clash a little on that because he takes his time. He likes to do it right. And I'm like, we got to get festivals, we got to get screenings. Come on,
get it out there. I know, right?
Yeah, but he does a great job. He's a great editor too. So I get 2 for 1 with Corey and everything he sends back. He gets what I'm trying to do with the comedy. He cuts comedy really well, and he did a great job on this.
So anything else that you're writing other than comedy, or are you just kind of sticking to the comedy, or do you have anything else on the horizon?
I have a bunch of scripts that are backed up right now, waiting to go. I have a romantic comedy, a feature that I wrote that we're trying to push with the same team, Tony and Lou. And then I have a kind of an action film that I've had for years. Me and my brother wrote, and I really like it. And I've been holding on to it because I don't want to do it on the cheap. So I'm hoping that something else comes through to do this because it's a big action film that's going to need money and need a better director than me to do it. So we're holding off on that.
That sounds cool. That'd be good.
Yeah, we're hoping. So I'm kind of holding back on that one and hoping something else happens first.
Oh, it's funny. I ran into Keith Collins on the train home last night.
I got to give him a call. I owe him a phone call.
He goes, CJ? I'm like, hey.
I didn't know you two knew each other. Wow.
Yeah. I've known him for a long time. And I guess we met down there at the time when Jersey Devil played.
Yeah.
Or even before, maybe. I'm not even sure. But I've known him for a long time. And I randomly run into him more than anybody. It was like AC, Asbury, New York City, the train. Always run into the guy.
He's a beach guy. He's always in AC down there. But yeah, I owe Keith a phone call. That's been a while.
But yeah, it was the randomest part. It's so fun. Actually, Mackie write a script about how we randomly run into each other, and I'm like, and I said, yeah, I was doing the SAG thing, and we were walking the line, and all of a sudden the naked cowboy got in the middle of me, and he's like, I actually know the naked cowboy personally.
He does, because he actually, one of our after parties or premiere parties, he got the naked cowboy to come to it for us with his little naked cowboy group or whatever it was. It was insane.
Not only that, I met the village people, and the cowboy's his uncle.
His uncle. Keith is like the center of the universe. Funny. Keith's a good guy.
Yeah. So, oh boy, that's funny stuff. Yeah. So that's cool with this whole film and everything. It's doing well. It did well. It's playing a lot. So we're excited to have it at the festival, and I'm sure a lot of people will be excited to see it. And we got a great comedy block, and it's going to be a fun day.
Yeah, looking forward. I'll be there. I don't know how that works with the actors now. Is the festivals? Can they do it?
They can do it. So I checked in, and I was all upset. But yeah. I mean, as long as it's not promoting what the producers, whatever it's called, the AA producer, whatever.
Yeah.
As long as it's not part of that, because I was like, wait a minute, cons, festivals, and I checked with SAG. I definitely checked with SAG. I even checked with Jack.
Yeah, I was going to say Jack's the guy to go to.
And asked him and Deborah Markowitz and I, we tried to find out from SAG, and they're like, yeah, it's fine.
Oh, good. Okay, because I've been putting up that we got some nominations, but I haven't been putting the dates. I didn't know. I've been dancing around it, and I know some of the cast was like, "Can we do this?" So I'll let them know. So
as long as it's not like bought yet.
It is not. It is not. Believe me, I will let you know if it.
But if it is like a production that is connected to the producers, overall producers, whatever they call that thing, APP, whatever. If it's connected to that, then you can't. So like I know they said like even like Tom Cruise asked SAG if he can promote, and they said no.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
no.
To get in there. Yeah, that's why I think our little thing isn't going to cause any problems.
But we go to Comic Cons, and I was like, wait a minute, they can't do cons then, and if it's privately owned, the con, and you can't promote any of your stuff, but you can go sign autographs and do Q&As, but you can't be like, oh, someone asks a question like, oh, what are you working on? You can't.
That's weird. That's weird. That's a weird con.
You did have the other day. I was at Kevin Smith's thing, showing the Never-Ending Story, and a girl asked the actress was there from it. What are you working on now? What movie? Because she's working on a film. She's like, oh yeah, it's something that I can't talk about.
even for a screening like that, they can't. Wow.
So yeah. So well, she talked about Never-Ending Story. I guess.
Yeah.
She's doing that like back in there, but upcoming events because it was something to do with the producers.
So anywhere they can't say. Wow. Okay.
She couldn't talk about her new film.
Wow.
So
strict rules. Yeah, that's why I want to be careful. I don't want to get any of the cast in trouble. So I'm just trying to find out what we can and can't.
So as long as it's not coming out in a movie theater or anything, I guess it's promoting the producers.
No, we are not sold yet, so we should be in the clear.
Cool. Yeah, they're welcome to come. It'll be a fun time. It's always a fun place to talk to people and going green again. See that?
You look good now. You're good now.
It's like still like I don't get it.
That's why
I didn't move. I didn't move or anything.
I just kept it green, Yeah.
Should have just did what you did. Yeah.
Exactly. If my son's not here to help me, I can't put anything back there.
I had this, so I had the Brightside, and then I forgot. When it's big, it's a Brightside. You can see it, but then when someone else comes on the screen, it shrinks, and you don't. Everyone's like, "What is that brick?"
Where are you?
So it doesn't really matter, I guess.
It looks good.
Yeah. So cool. That'll be fun to have people there and see people there. I think Jack's coming too.
I was hoping he was going to come. I was going to reach out to him. What block is he in? He's got a drama in there, right?
Yeah, it's a drama. I'm not sure what block, but it's probably around the same time.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure he'll be at the awards.
Yeah.
Good.
So
looking forward to seeing him.
It'll be a fun time. It is like a reunion of people that have brought stuff back in the past to Brightside. A lot of people are returning from the past. So
good.
It's always cool. I mean, people you'll recognize be like, oh yeah, I know you from this fest and this fest.
Yes, exactly. But, fest to fest we go.
We're here with Harry, and you made Enter the Room. What made you come up with the concept for this?
Actually, interestingly enough, the idea came from I had a roommate my freshman year of college, and things got a bit tense. It's probably an understatement.
Yeah.
A lot of the things that Brian's getting on Jeremy's case about in the film were actually things that he did to me or said to me. I would say he was a little uptight, to say the least. And I guess we just weren't a good fit, and there's a lot of tension. We definitely clashed quite a bit. And when I was coming up with the idea, I was first writing the script, and I thought, all right, well, there's a lot of tension here. This is definitely going to be, provoking people a bit, but I wanted to add a little something extra to it. It didn't feel complete. So I figured, and I didn't realize at the time, but I actually realized I probably got some influence from whatever happened to Baby Jane. So I figured, why not make them brothers? Why not have, this kind of nasty past traumatic story to or event to influence how they ended up turning out. So I figured I'll make them brothers. I think the audience already realizes they obviously don't like each other very much. Even before the incident, they figure they probably didn't either. Yeah, that was pretty much where the influence came from.
Cool. And there's a lot of different types of color. The colors, did you for the film, did you do it there with the lighting there, or was that a post thing?
So for the one big fight when it's red, kind of near the end, that we did have some lighting. I actually had, though, my producer, my assistant director. Not that this is always the best thing to say, but they told me this was my first film, and I didn't really have experience with those kind of messing around with those extreme colors. They said, hey, like, you probably don't need to put the red gel on. You can probably handle this in post. But I figured, why not, to be safe? I asked my gaffer, Steve, who did a great job. He did put a red gel on, and it looked good, but it was not as red as I wanted it to be. Yeah. So I ended up kind of jacking up the color in post. That created a ton of just static video noise in the background. Yeah. Fortunately, I found this add-on, which I still love. I use it all the time to this day, called Neat Video, which really does a good job removing the majority of that noise. So to answer your question, the red, yes, a little bit. The blue and green, no, that was all just done in post. And Neat Video kind of really helped smoothen it out, because before Neat Video, there's still a little bit of noise, but before Neat Video, I was not okay with releasing film.
So is that like a plugin or is it its own thing, or?
Yeah, it's a plugin for it can be used with Premiere, Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve. That one I did on Final Cut. I more used Premiere and Resolve a lot now.
We use Premiere in my school, so I teach film and we use Premiere, so it's interesting. With
no, if you ever run into video noise issues, it works with. I don't have it for Premiere personally, but I've heard it's pretty much the same as Final Cut. It's maybe it's gone up since. When I got it for Final Cut, it was just a one-time $100 payment. I've used it so much, I've definitely gotten my money's worth. So yeah,
be good for high school because their sound is always
Oh yeah, of course.
No, but sound is a tough thing. I was going to ask you. So like, when you're doing the sound on set, because you had that, were you able to, I guess, fix everything for the sound with that program?
So
you have anything like you're filming a room, maybe like right now I have the air on, and luckily enough it doesn't pick it up. I thought it did, but it doesn't. I'm like, I can't turn the air off in here while I'm on.
Oh yeah. Oh no, sorry if it was confusing. So Neat Video is actually, I know when you hear noise you think of sound. Video noise, I more meant like static in the background from the colors. For actual sound audio noise, I have some post sound. I do have I don't use it that often though. I'm forgetting the name, Isotope, which can help. I did not use that for Enter the Room. I tried keeping, especially because it was my first film, the audio level is a little lower, which people have told me, the sound's acceptable. I've had a few other filmmakers complain a little, oh yeah, it's coming in a little soft. That was kind of how I dealt with it. I've tried to dabble and get more comfortable with Isotope and just understanding post audio a little better. Final Cut has decent post audio, so I did some work on it. But yeah.
So how did you go about with the actors for the film? Being your first film at all? Do you go on backstage? Do you know people? How do you get the
yeah. So fortunately I was so stressed about that because of course every aspect of filmmaking is important. Something I focus on and I've been complimented more often for are the performances. And I really put a lot into the characters, especially because it all takes place in one apartment, one kind of small, not very pretty looking apartment. So I really wanted the script and the characters to drive the film. I was extremely stressed about this. I had no idea how to go about it. Fortunately, the producer, Lance Adams, he was kind of my mentor. He took me under his wing for this. He told me, definitely check out, Breakdown Express for directors. I believe it's called Actors Access for Actors. So I have used Backstage since. I've had really good fortune with it. I didn't for this film. We mainly just used Breakdown Express and Craigslist. And I've had a few decent actors through Craigslist. We had more success through Breakdown Express. So both the actors, Peter and Rich, they were through Breakdown Express. They were both amazing. I really have no complaints. Especially Rich. As soon as he came in, it was just like 10 seconds into him performing, I kind of knew, oh, this guy is perfect, and Peter not far behind. So ever since then, I've found more mediums kind of to reach out to people, but I would say Breakdown Express and Backstage are my two go-tos, with Casting Networks being another casting website I've had pretty good luck with.
Yeah. So, it's an intense type of film. What do you categorize it? I know it's in that horror block, or it could be like a thriller, horror. It could be dramatic, could be experimental. So what did you want it to fit under?
Yeah, of course. If I had to put it in a box, I would say psychological thriller with hints of horror and drama.
There you go. Yeah.
It has been a little tough for me though, because even I believe one of the nominations was for experimental for this festival, which I think is awesome, because experimental festivals usually think of my film as more narrative, more linear. But I definitely think there's an experimental aspect to it, just with the whole, you think you know what's going on, but you're not really sure, especially at the end. But what's interesting about the genres, I would definitely call it a multi-genre film. And I'd say that that's something that's happened with all my films. With more, with festivals that kind of accept all different types of genres, if they don't have a thriller, especially psychological thriller, that's more niche, they will usually categorize it as horror. But horror festivals really, I would say, don't categorize it as horror. They categorize it more as a drama. So it's definitely been interesting trying to figure out, what niche it fits into.
But it fits the set that we have.
Yeah.
Playing it does. It's going to be it's a fun night. The horror people come out in droves, and it's always a fun time. So it's actually going to be a fun night and a fun set there. And it's really the night before all the other films play the next day, and then we'll be there. We have like student films before that. So
awesome. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Super excited.
But a lot of people show up. But I'm telling you, if you ever go to these horror festivals or horror cons, and the fans are just they love that stuff, and they're just so dedicated, and everyone's so nice. And I got sucked in to it all. I'm like, wow, I love it, and I love working on horror films.
Absolutely. It is interesting though how I've met so many artists who make, and my dad, he's an artist and he does really dark stuff, and he's the nicest guy ever. It's almost like you get it off your chest, and then I've met a lot of horror people where they're the opposite of their art.
It is. It's true. It's so funny.
Oh.
But so what you said, so you're working on, so that was your first film. Once you're done with that, you were writing something, you got something new, you filmed something already?
Yeah, no, I actually have, I have a few other projects going on. I'm more near the back end of, Enter the Room's going to festivals. I have another short film in the backseat. That one is doing a smaller festival run. Enter the Room is kind of the one that I'm especially proud of and really kind of going all out with. I actually have another film too. I had thought it was finished, but I ended up watching it again a couple months ago. I thought, the pacing's a little too fast. So I've added a few minutes onto it. A film called Bay for Blood. I would say similar genre to Enter the Room. I would say a little more in the horror genre. There's a little bit more violence in it. Nothing super crazy. But that one, I think a horror fest might more considered a horror film than a drama, like I said with Enter the Room. And then I actually have a feature film, The Corridor Crossing. I'm currently color correcting that one, and I've learned doing my first feature how much work that is. So that one
I hate the color correct.
I love cut, even though I spend forever doing cut, but I'm really comfortable with it. Color correction is something that I've gotten better at it, but I've definitely struggled with it over the years. So I
don't have the eye for it. I'm not good at it. I don't know why I can't. I'm not colorblind, but I can't see it right. So I always, at that point, if I'm making a film, I always give it to someone else to color it. I don't know why I can't. I keep trying. I just can't do it right.
I understand. Well, especially if you're more comfortable with cut too. Despite the fact that, I get it. Companies are, trying to save money, but I feel often if someone is good at one, they might have learned to be decent at both. But usually if someone is really good at cut, they might not see color as well, and vice versa. Whereas, I'm definitely more of a cut person. cut comes really natural to me. Color, it's a little shakier. I find myself second guessing myself quite a bit.
So you have 2 out there, and are you filming anything now?
Right now I'm not. And I mean this in a good way, because especially, with the whole, I wanted to get a couple of these films out even potentially before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened, and everything went crazy.
Yeah.
So after that, I kind of decided, all right, I'm gonna put this feature film into production. Anyway, once that got done, I started going all out with the festivals. First with Enter the Room, then In the Backseat. And between that, my full-time job and finishing up A for Blood and working on this feature Corridor, I simply don't have time to be shooting. I'm hoping, just because this next year I think is going to be too crazy, but the Enter the Room and In the Backseat festival runs should be done, and the Bay for Blood run should probably be coming to a close by not this fall, but the next fall. And that's when my next idea, a film called Incautious, which actually more of a drama. I know I'd mentioned I tend to do more psychological thriller horror. I'm switching it up a bit with this.
Good.
That one I have the idea done in my head. I just need to write the script. So I'm going to spend the next handful of months sort of knocking that out. And then I'm hoping next fall to get ready to start shooting that one.
Great. Well, it was awesome. Give me a few minutes here. Did you want to add anything?
I don't think so. Just it was great chatting with you. Just about my films, my filmmaking career, and I'm really looking forward to the festival, and which I believe is just a couple weeks away.
It's so soon. I gotta get rolling. I got a lot to do. Summers I teach film, so the summers I'm lazy. I travel a lot. I work on a lot of side things. It just never ends. I was just talking today. I was at a film thing before this at Bell Works over here. Big filmmaker event they had. I didn't even know it was that big. I went there. I knew everybody talking. I'm like, I got to get out of here. But I'm like, we're talking about, what do you do? I'm like, I have like 8 jobs. I have one main job. I teach film in high school. That's my main job. And then I do everything on the side.
Yeah, I know the feeling for sure.
Just can't stop it. And then I've been running the film festivals. It's our 17th season. We're in our 9th year. We do it twice a year. And so many people love coming out. So I did other festivals that I started, and I left them. They're still going, but I left. I had to take a back seat on a few things, but I couldn't get rid of this one. It's just me and this other guy, Chris, that run it. And we've been in the industry most of our lives. And we know a lot of people, and we've done everything, and we're like, let's just keep going. So it's just fun for us. That's why this one's a fun fest, and it's not that much stress for us. So we just keep doing it.
That's awesome to hear.
So, but I'm excited to bring everyone together and have a party. That's the main part. I don't care about money or this or that or whatever. I just want people to have fun and meet. And that's the point.
Oh, absolutely. I'm the same way. I wouldn't put this much work into, time and effort into something if I didn't love it. So I totally get it.
But so it was great talking to you for a few minutes. I got a bunch more of these tonight now.
Oh yeah, of course. It was great chatting, and
I'll try to get it up sooner or later. The batch I did a few days ago, I'm going to put up, and then I'm going to work on the next one. It won't take too long, but it depends on me sitting down and putting it together. I'm not really editing it that much. I said, in the years past I have. I'm like, no, I'm just going to cut it real quick and throw it up.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I mean, we could pretty much go live, but I'm not sitting here all day.
Yeah.
But we've done that. So I do podcasting as well. So that's another thing. That's why I continue to do this. And I almost didn't do this time around, but I'm like, I have to. I've been doing it, and it's been successful talking to all the filmmakers. Because a lot of days, like we're there all day, and I'm at the door, I'm running around, and people say hello to me, but I don't really get a chance to talk to people. So,
yeah, no, I understand.
So, if you see me there, and I'm like, that's my life there.
I gotcha. I'll try to say hi, but if you seem super busy, I'll know.
Well, I'm at the door, so I say hello to everyone, and then I'm like, I hadn't seen you for hours, like at the award show. Yeah. So it's always fun. That's where I get to shine, the award show. That's where I get to have my fun.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll see. All right. Well, thanks for joining me for a few minutes, and I'll see you soon.
Yep, sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Cool. We're here, cast and crew of In the Time of Jules. Jules, right? Jules.
Yeah, Jules.
So, Robert, why don't you start off, saying what you did on the film and a little bit about it, or like how'd you come up with the concept for this one?
Damn, where I? Well, I'm Robert Asensio. I did hella shit on this film: director, writer, a cinematography, editing. But everyone worked as a team. But I did mad stuff on this film. But actor too. But yeah. I mean, I'll keep it short and sweet because it's one of those films where it's like I never really wanted to say too much about it because I want people to like see it and kind of get their own vibe from it. But nah, it's just really about like, Adam, the main protagonist played by Jesse Dorfman, and he just, he's kind of, I always say he's kind of going through his subconscious, through reality, memories, dreams, trying to find some type of understanding, some type of peace from a traumatic event, about loss, addiction, but it's really like what held me to this, like, because it's a lot of experimental, like weird shit going on in the film.
There is. I'm like, that's a little different.
No, it's different, right? It makes you feel like, what the fuck is going on? But it's like what I stayed stuck to was like, In the Time of Jules stands for like, we all have like a jewel, like a memory or something that, you can stay stuck in. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you can't get past from. So it's like you try to, use an escape to try to find some type of peace and find some type of like clear your mind and some understanding, because it gets kind of rough to think about it all the time. So really it's kind of like he's just going through it and just trying to find some type of understanding. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's not resolved, it's just him going through it. That's really what it is.
Why don't we go around and everyone introduce yourselves and say what you did on the film? Deasia?
Deasia.
You want to start?
So hi, I'm Deasia Brunson. I played the role of Erica in A Time with Jules. I also did makeup design as well as application and costume design.
Oh, wow. Chris, what about you?
Oh, hello. Everyone could see me, right?
Yeah. You went off for a second, but then you're back.
You back.
All right. Yeah, my name is Chris Grant. I played Omar in the film, and I brought my own hospital gown. I can say that. So,
Word.
Jesse.
Hey, how you doing? My name's Jesse. I played Adam in the film. That was mostly. Oh, I did a little art department work. I did some like painting for the movie.
Department.
I don't know if I could say I did it or Adam gets the credit for art department work. I don't know.
Go home.
But yeah, pleasure to be here.
And Megan.
Hi, I'm Megan Tobias, and I played Chloe in the short.
So how did you go about with the casting process this time? Same as always, or kind of?
These are the homies. We all went to K University together. You know what I'm saying? Like in Union. Yeah. So I always, I went to school with everyone here. So I know what they do. I know what they can bring. So when I was writing, I was like, oh man, sometimes I write to people I know. Like I usually I love casting through like just watching people act. Mm-hmm. So when I seen what they did, I was like, oh hell yeah, I need to use some of that emotion. Look at actors and I'll see where they can go, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna write to that. I'm gonna write something to that. So I knew they could all do what I wrote, so I just let them do their thing. But I was just like, just do your thing, be yourself, because I already know like you could get to that place. So that's kind of the process of it. Also, just casting the homies.
Yeah. So how do you guys go about your process of your characters? So he writes it on the page, you read it, and how do you bring that character to life? Anyone want to start?
I'll start. I'd say for a project like this, it's mostly like the bulk of the prep is with Rob in terms of his vision and sort of like the tone that he wants to set for the film or did want to set for the film, and kind of try to get in his mind as much as possible. And see where you could kind of strike a level that is what's the word I'm looking for? I guess dark in a way, but compelling enough to like make you think maybe it won't be too dark. Yeah.
Anyone else?
I think Rob encouraged us so much, and I think that's the cool thing about working with Rob as a director and also as like a co-star. He's very eager to collaborate with people, so he'll very much set the framework, and he wants you to fill everything in yourself, because he wants it to be as much a part of him as it is a part of you. So I think a lot of my process came from just asking myself questions and continuing to be confused. We all come from a theater background, and like I think we can all safely say like that's a good place to be in, is confused, because that's when you're going to find things.
Yeah, I would also like to add on to that and say that one of Rob's favorite quotes, he quotes it to at least me a lot of the time. We learned this through our college improv class. With structure comes freedom. And in the process, there was a lot of structure in terms of where we're supposed to go, where we're supposed to land in this film. But once you learn that, the freedom is immense, and it just allows you to play. And so that playfulness and that ability to experiment really was just, it made the film, I feel, what it is, to be honest.
What about you, Megan?
I also think like Rob writes these characters that everyone knows in their real life. He writes real life characters. You just want to bring honesty, vulnerability. You want to do them justice.
Nope, we lost Chris. Everything. Oh, there he is. You're still here. Yeah. So Robert, this film, it's a long one. Must took you a long time to film this one, huh?
Oh yeah, man. It took mad long because I was kind of like I was figuring it out as I went. Like one of my big inspirations for this film was this Hong Kong filmmaker called Wong Kar-wai, because he writes as he goes.
Oh.
So I was writing as I went. I was like, I wrote a scene, then I was like, all right, what happens next? I was kind of like, figuring it out as I go. And then when I would go to set, I would see them do something, and I'm like, yo, forget my idea. Just do what you're doing right there. Because like what everyone was saying, one of my biggest things with acting and with actors is like, for me, I don't like when I cast somebody or when I see actors, I'm like, man, I want to capture like who you are. Like I don't want to capture a character necessarily. I want to capture you through the character. Like I just want you to be yourself, use your own voice, so you don't have to like not put something on. You know what I'm saying? So because I want to capture that, kind of like a documentary in a way. Like I love documentaries, how it seems so like real. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't seem like there's something put on. So it's like for me, when I see their performances, I'm like, oh, I recognize that. Because I went to school with them, I chill, I just recognize it. So I'm like, oh, yo, that's it right there. That take is it. So for me, that's like everything that everyone brought to the table. I'm like, as long as they happy and they feeling it, because usually I'm like, was y'all feeling it? And if they having fun, that's the most important thing. I want people to have fun. I don't want them to feel like it's like like it seems like a depressing movie, but like everyone, we were wilding out. It was fun. It was dope. It was a good time.
That's the best, when it's like pretty depressing, but everyone's having fun and having a good time. And just to go in and out of the character, you don't have to get stuck in the character like some of these actors get stuck in. Like Jim Carrey was and everyone hated him on set because he wouldn't.
You talking about
Man on the Moon?
Yeah.
They all hated him. They're like, and then even people like Danny DeVito was like, we didn't hate the real guy.
Yeah, they hated. Yeah,
but like everyone hated him on that.
Yeah, I remember
that character. He wouldn't.
But, so I mean, that's an interesting thing. I mean, I don't mind people like getting deep in the character if that's your thing. If it comes off natural, but if you like putting it on to put it on, that's something else. But if you need to do it to get to that place that you need to get to feel yourself, then it's all good with me.
Yeah, there's some days where they do. You have to like.
Yeah, you got it. some days it's like you gotta go hard. You just gotta put it on, and you gotta just stay in your corner and just get in the mode, you know.
Yesterday, I just saw a play in the city. I haven't been there in a while. I saw The Shark is Broken.
Oh,
The performances, there's 3 actors in the whole play. It's an hour and a half. But, you know, Robert Shaw's son from the movie plays his dad, and the performance is insane.
oh yeah, that's that Jaws one, right? That. Oh yeah.
It is. I mean, he is a spitting image of his dad. He sounds like his dad, and it's behind the scenes in Jaws of the 3 of them on the boat. And you know, it is acting at its finest.
Oh damn, yeah. I heard they was wilding out. Him, Robert Shaw, and the other dude.
Yeah, they were going at it.
Yeah. I heard stories. I love Robert Shaw killed that. Yeah, it's dope.
So that was just a great performance to see that. So I haven't seen those in a long time. You guys still do a lot of theater too?
Yeah, we still do theater. Theater is the root. Yeah, I mean that's all. Like the agent said, that's our roots. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all want to take it. I'll be talking like a motherfucker. So someone talks. Go theater.
Oh, I was gonna say I just recently did Love's Labor's Lost with the Arachne Theater Company at Summit Rock in Central Park. So that was really fun. That was my first time doing outdoor theater, so that was really cool. We have one professor that like we used to study with that was like really big on like projecting and just like really sticking to the classics. So it was kind of cool to get back to doing that after a long amount of time. And it's always nice to go in between film and theater because you get back to the fine tuning of the craft and then you get back to the work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to say this before my Wi-Fi starts messing up again. Sorry, y'all. But last year I did this cool play with New Jersey Repertory Theater, or Repertory Company, they call themselves. And it was a really cool show. It was a premiere written by Leah Romero. And one of the actors that I got to work with, she was in King of Queens for a little bit. She had a guest star. I think that's what they call it in film, or like, you know, a little short spot. But she played Kevin James's mom, and her name is Jenny O'Hara. And it was so cool playing alongside her.
She was so funny on that show, by the way.
Sorry?
I remember the character. She was so funny.
You know that. See, I'm so happy that I'm getting to talk to like, you know, people who've seen these shows, because a lot of the younger kids, they're like, "What's, you know, King of Queens?"
Oh my god, it was so funny when it was on. Oh my god. But she was great. She was great as the mother. There was this one episode. She was hysterical. It was so funny because he apparently took a picture of his under his pants in a wedding at those free cameras, and she freaked out.
Oh my god!
It was him. Yeah, so
because he put the little top hat.
Yeah, the top hat.
Yes.
And he blamed it on his cousin, so they all hated the cousin, and the mother's like, "What scumbag?" It was him.
Yeah. So it was dope. It was such an honor to work with her, and so that was one of the coolest like theater things I've done in the past couple of years. So.
Yeah, he killed that too. I went to see. He killed it. She was also in Devil, bro. That's where I knew her from.
Oh,
Devil, the movie Devil.
She was in Devil with M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah. He killed that shit too. There.
What about you two?
I do a lot of dramaturgy now, and I do film sometimes, but I really love dramaturgy, and I'm also screenwriting now.
Yeah.
So I always love an opportunity to act and like flex that muscle that I miss.
Megan, you gotta tell them about the you're in this competition or something, right?
Yeah, I've placed a few times, a quarterfinalist a few times for my pilot, The Outliers. I'm really proud of that. I've also dramaturged professionally for Premiere Stages for some of their New Jersey premieres, and I worked with them in their literary department for a few years as well.
Awesome. Great. What about you, Jesse?
Currently not doing a ton of live theater acting, focused more on film, but I also do a lot of live comedy. Once a month in the city, I have a show. I'm part of a sketch group that I perform and write for called Beverly, and we do a show once a month in the city at the Pit. And comedy was one of my first loves always. So that's always fun and just a great way to constantly stay fresh in terms of writing, always writing new stuff, new material, and then stay fresh performing as well.
I just interviewed beforehand a guy that has a little comedy sketch in the Fest, and he does stand-up comedy in the city, and he does the improv, and he works at Gotham.
Oh, super cool.
So I think he's going. So
Nice.
I always say it's such a big world, but a small world. Like
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
running into the same people or different things, and many, many years later. So, I mean, I just went to this event and saw people I saw 20 years ago.
Wow.
It was crazy. I was like, what are you doing?
They still in it. They still in it. They're the real ones.
Yeah, still in it. Still going.
They still in it.
So, but anything else you guys would like to add? I know I got to keep going all these interviews today, but
I just want to listen. I just want to say shouts to you for the nomination. Shouts to the Brightside for you know what I'm saying, for the selection. And I just want to shout out the other two. I mean, for Brianna, who's not here, Brianna Martinez, Gabby Resende, the other cast, and Lisa Burgos. And shout outs to the fam, my fam, because they helped me with some dough. And then shouts to my bro Hetty for the music. All the music done was from my brother Hetty.
Oh, I forgot that's about the music. It was amazing. Yeah,
that's my bro, man. That's so I'm trying to, like, you know, I'm trying to see like what other festivals got like music, you know, noms and all that, because I be trying to, like, he be laying out some dope shit. So I'm like, man.
Yeah, that's one thing we should add. You should add
that. Add that, man, because it's like, man, musicians. I'm like, these composers, you gotta show them love.
You
know,
we try to expand and do all different things. So that is definitely.
Yeah, they work hella hard. Like they try to, you know, all that, like editing, that thing, sound design, like all that stuff is like so prominent to films. It's like you can make something look horrible, but you can make something look really good, but if that sound is whack, people ain't gonna watch it. But if it's the other way around, if it sounds good and it looks bad, you could be like, yo, it was a choice. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I love music. I was just talking about that earlier today too, where you can find the soundtrack, not just the score, but a soundtrack that matches the film and the characters.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, for real. I mean, I did that with one of the moments in this film with Adam, my bro. He wrote like a little suite, and it's just like, I love that, just to hear the music of the character. You know what I'm saying? Like I do a lot of that. I do a lot of that with my process as an actor. I make soundtracks for my characters, so it's like to you know, you got to give a big shout out to composers, because sometimes films be leaning on that music. They be leaning on it because sometimes the writing is like or the cinematography's but people hear that score, they're like, yo, nah, but that score held it together, you know?
I was thinking Jaws, just talking about Jaws.
Yo,
I mean,
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, yo. I mean,
that was really like the finishing piece for me watching the film for the first time, was hearing all the music with it. Yeah. Like it just took it to a whole nother level.
Yo, it did. Like, yo, you couldn't go in the water without hearing that theme song.
For real.
You know, I was going in the shower, like, hold up.
And the first time that John Williams brought that to Spielberg, he laughed.
Yo, nah.
He laughed.
Yeah. Gotta trust the vision.
Yeah.
Yo, but that made it. That kind of put it into the subconscious of like the film and of people. So it's like, I could say the same thing with The Exorcist. Like, I still hear that piano.
Yeah.
It did it. I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm out.
But yeah, it's a really important part. Absolutely. So, but I just wanted to congratulate the whole cast. You guys always do an amazing job on your films and stuff. So, you know, I love theater. I love theater and I love acting. I'm a SAG actor, but I never do theater that much. It's been so long. But I love going to Black Box Theater in New York and watching the actors. And most of the actors I get on my films are from theater. They have that pure talent.
They grounded.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So just congratulations on that. So you guys all did a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right. I got a few more of these to go tonight, but thanks for joining me.
All right.
Hopefully see you guys in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. All right, homies.
Yep. All right, we're here with Ryan, and you did the movie B-roll. What made you come up with the concept of this film? I'm asking that to a lot of people because sometimes it's like reality, it really happened, or in the real life. I'm like, and you just watch your film, like, how did you come up with this?
Well, I was working on my ACP film. I was looking for a story. I was trying to come up with something between two guys in Ireland, and I had watched a couple of films. The film I had watched was called Blowout, which was an old Brian De Palma film with John Travolta, where the sound record records a car accident, and then there's a whole big crime that happens.
I always show a scene in that film to my students in film where it goes around and around and around. You see the scene in that movie where he's in the studio and he's moving around and the camera just keeps spinning. I always show that scene to my students.
Yeah, but it's an incredible film, and so but then the idea kind of like, wouldn't that be really interesting if someone were to record something crazy happening on camera while getting some of the maybe most mundane shots, which is just B-roll. So from there, it just kind of took off.
Wow. And then what about the acting? How'd you get the actors for? They did a pretty good job. Well, you.
Well, so the other lead actor.
And the other guy, the other actor is what I meant.
Yeah. He's actually my second cousin. So we actually go to the same school, but we hadn't met each other till we got to college.
Really?
And because, we just really hit it off. And he's also a fellow film major. And so we were trying to find something to do and thought, oh, wouldn't this be, a really fun collaboration? And then as far as the other three cast members, the guy who ends up recording at the end was our gaffer, very nice guy, love him. And then the guy who gets killed was my roommate, Duval, who is a tremendous filmmaker in his own right, makes a lot of good stuff. And the killer is actually my girlfriend. So we had originally a cast member in that role, but they ended up dropping out, and we weren't sure what to do. And my girlfriend offered to step up, so we gave her a kit and a hoodie, and she did a fantastic job. So,
so it's for college. Are you still in college? Was it, or this was your thesis, maybe, or something like that? I get a lot of thesis films.
Yeah, that's the one before my thesis. So I'm actually working on in pre-production of my thesis right now. That was what was called our advanced cinema production class. So we just had to create a film 10 minutes long, minimal dialogue, minimal music, and see what we could come up with.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's not easy to do that. So where do you go to school?
I go to Ithaca College. It's a college in upstate New York near the Finger Lakes.
I know. Well, some of my students have went there because I teach film. I teach film in high school in New Jersey here. And a couple students went up there. Most of them go to Montclair, but some of them went to Ithaca. So I think we have another film from Ithaca in the college set as well.
Ooh,
I believe so. So
awesome.
I believe, I'm pretty sure, unless I'm mixing up with because we get quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we have two college sets and they're both outstanding. So I was telling people the other day, I'm like, they're really, really solid films. A lot, even better than some of the stuff's playing the next day. Yeah, it's pretty good. That's
awesome.
Very good talent. Well, good talent in the future. That's a good sign,
Yeah, it's very hopeful for what's going to come out in the future.
So shooting at night, how hard is that?
It's a tough thing. So we were trying to shoot as fast, as possible. We had 2 days of shooting time. We had an extra day, but we ended up just filming the 2 days. We started every night at sundown, and then we went till about 12:30 at night. So the biggest thing was not so much how late it was how cold it was, because it was getting towards winter time. Yeah. So a lot of times it's spent warming up, but the film was basically split up into 2 sections, where the murder happens and then where they drive off to have the conversation. And those were basically filmed 2 different nights. So
was the camera right outside the car, or did you have it in the car?
We had the camera a few different times. So we had sometimes that the camera's outside the car, inside the car. But I created camera sort of layouts that we could figure out the quickest way that we could move around the camera so that we could, we can create efficiency. But shooting outside was wild. But actually shooting outside caused, so do you know the gun sound effect is heard in the film? when the gun goes off. That was not in post. That was actually recorded on set, but not as we were just standing there outside, and I guess a car backfired.
Wow.
And
You had that?
guy,
You got the audio?
yeah, and it was right before we were to say action, and then
Oh,
the
wow.
car backfired, and we all kind of like it sounded scary, and it was we could use that for the film. So
Wow.
happy
That's pretty
accident. Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah, I've shot at night before, and I've with a couple lights in the middle of nowhere, and one light died, and we plugged into a car. So I know the craziness of filming at nighttime. We had to do it in one night, all through the night. But then I had to do reshoots. And it was horrible. So
respect to you.
I love shooting at night. It's just really hard to do. So I just wanted to ask you that and see, like, wow, why do we do this? Like in the middle of nowhere, right? So
yeah, it's in nowhere. It's like, and you have to figure out how to light the scene, and you're like, oh man. But it's a tough challenge. It was a lot tougher than I expected it would be.
Because sometimes when you put it in a theater or a bigger screen, it like it's kind of blown out a little bit because not enough lighting, dark. I've seen that in many films, but I mean, it doesn't come across here, which is good. So, but I've seen that. I've seen that in so many things. You're like, and you start seeing like, oh, you need more lights. But then if you put more lights, then it doesn't look like night. It's a mess.
Yeah, it was a tough thing where it was, especially when I was talking about with my gaffer and pre. A big thing was using lights. That was the thing I very much wanted to use because I didn't want to have it look. I didn't want any of the noise in, the shots, and so I thought, a great way to use lighting would be to just use those car lights and really, get the better that we could.
That's cool. Yeah, absolutely. So, how long did it take? You said, it's 2 days to that, and how long does it take to edit something like this?
So we shot that at the end of October, and I was done editing it by beginning of December, so about a month and a half of editing.
Oh, cool.
Which is
and
just
did you shoot a lot? Yeah. Did you shoot a lot more that you put on the cutting room table, or was it kind of like almost precise? Like there's some directors like, I want exactly what's there, or we did more improv, more takes, or you just shot a lot and had it hard to cut down?
I did about 1 to 2 takes per scene. We did about 3 weeks of rehearsal leading into the film because I always thought like I'd rather do 100, take rehearsal rather than, 100 takes in a night environment where you're, on a budget where you don't have a lot of money as well.
Yeah.
It's important to try to get these done as quick as possible. So, about 1 or 2 takes. It was whatever was in the script, we shot pretty to point. Most of the changes, and added things were all in prior drafts that through about 5 or 6 revisions got, tidied up.
Cool. So what are you working on? You said anything else other than, or you're just concentrating on your final film or anything else on the side? I mean, is it still summer for you? What's
Yeah. Well, this summer's been quite busy. I've been working on a couple projects. Well, first, I have an internship right now at MetLife Stadium where I've been working Lady Gaga and Ed Sheeran. So that's been an internship, and then I work as a lifeguard to help with the GAT to get to MetLife, and then but then there's 2 big projects I'm working on. So the first, my thesis, which is going to be a musical. It's a thriller musical.
Wow.
That I'm hoping to do. So it's we shoot in about a month on September 1st, and it's due by December. So but it's very exciting. The other thing is it's a little family project. We went out west to the Grand Canyon in Las Vegas. So I'm compiling all of our individual videos that we got and putting them into like a little family documentary.
That's cool. I mean, I was just out in LA, then I came back, then I went to Phoenix, and everyone's like, you should go see the Grand Canyon. I'm like, well, it's kind of far from Phoenix, but I'm like, I'll go to Vegas. I'll go see it. It's pretty wild, cool looking.
My first time out there. Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. So a very, very fun vacation with my family. I
got to put together. I have so much stuff to edit and put together myself. I'm a teacher, so I get lazy in the summer. But I just do a lot of projects. Like I get these film festivals.
yeah.
And this, I had to push people's interviews because I was at a film event earlier today that just kind of came
awesome.
up. It was a really cool event. So I was like, oh, I want to
Yeah.
stay, but then I left. But
Yeah.
and then yesterday I was in New York City. I was doing stuff in the city. I was doing the SAG strike, and then I stayed in the city.
Oh, yeah.
And then I went to Shark is Broken. And so I was telling the other crew there, they were all theater people. I was like, I saw Shark is Broken, which is Jaws, and on Broadway. And it was just so amazing to see actors do that. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome. It's nice to keep busy. But but I totally understand. Both my parents are teachers, so they're also summer breaks. So we've just been kind of chilling, and my dad does outdoor projects here and there. But no, it's nice, and being a teacher, working very hard, and it's nice to have those couples to works.
Yeah, and I love the industry. I mean, I teach film, so I never stop, and it's an addiction. I think I just love making film, being on film, doing anything with film. So it's
really
pretty
is.
fun.
No, it's an addiction. I think it's just so fun. I think it's just creating things for people that put smiles on their faces and takes their minds off. We all have stressful lives. Just making something for someone and being like, oh, that's cool. Or that's like, it just makes you forget a little bit. I think it's an awesome thing.
Yeah, and so have you gone to any other film festivals with this yet, or is it kind of in the middle of the road and playing more? Any coming up, or?
I've got a few more that I'm waiting to hear about, but I've gone to about a couple more film festivals. Sadly, it's been hard to win them because I was in LA for my internship in the spring. So a couple of the film festivals that I did get into, I couldn't, fully come to, see it on the screen. But I'm very excited to come to this one.
Yeah, I mean,
see also the other films.
It's going to be really two good sets there. And then we have a little award show afterwards, so it'll be cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's fun. We have that, and then so that's the students. We have high school students, and usually we have more high school student films, but like all the high school teachers from New Jersey were like, "Oh, I'm not putting it in this summer, this time around."
Yeah.
But we usually have a lot more of that, which we don't. But we have really a good amount of college ones. And then the award show, and then we have like a horror set after like the horror people come out in droves. So we have a nice little horror set of films, and then the whole next day are all different films. But we try to. It's really hard to get students to come out for 2 days, so we just do the whole awards that day right after. So it's always fun. So
cool.
And just to meet everybody from all the different colleges, high schools, and stuff like that, all filmmakers. So it'll be a fun time.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet everybody. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Cool. We're here with Dusty, and you did Last Girls Trip. So what made you come up with the concept of this film?
Well, it was actually inspired by a friend of mine being diagnosed with cancer. And when you're a writer and something like that happens in your life, you end up writing about it. So I wrote a short play. It started as a short play, and then it kind of morphed eventually into a film.
Was some of it like real life experiences with the person, or
or
did you do a trip?
It was what I would have liked to have been able to have with her.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that didn't work out. But it was like if I could have had a last, hurrah, basically. And then it kind of just like I said, my imagination just went to that place. And it kind of just created this story. So, yeah.
How did you go about for the casting for the film?
Well, casting started with a reading, and one of the actors that read for me ended up being cast in one of the roles, and the other one was I just open cast it and found the right people for the rest of it. Like Jackie was cast as Lisa, and that was we did a bunch of casts and comeback, second castings. Yes, she was my from the beginning. I knew she was the right. Yeah.
And how do you go about getting the different locations?
Well, I did a lot of it myself, as you do with short films.
Yeah.
So I looked on Airbnb and rented a beach house where we cast most of it. And when I wrote it, I also wrote it so that it could be shot in one location. So,
yeah. Oh, wow. So that's what yeah. So it's just kind of like there's the beach, there's the house, all right there, huh? You didn't
Yeah, so we could have different locations within one location.
location. Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah.
That's how to do it.
Yeah.
Yes. So when you wrote it, how long was the editing process? Was it take a long time to edit that? Was there a lot of stuff that was filmed that you didn't use, or it was kind of by your script, kind of?
There wasn't that much that changed during the editing process. A little bit did. I ended up editing it, and that was a learning experience for me because I hadn't edited a full that length of a film before. So I learned a lot myself. Music was interesting, fun to work on. But yeah, it was much of it stayed the same, but some things got moved around a little bit as they always do in the editing process.
Yeah, I was talking to some writers and directors before, and some of them were like, "Yeah, we filmed a lot, and I cut a lot out," and then others were like, "No, I knew what I was doing. I knew what I wanted. It wasn't much at all cut." And I'm like, "Oh,
just a little bit was maybe moved around a little bit, but most of it stuck." Yeah.
And has it played at a few festivals already, or is it kind of just starting now, or is it middle of the road, or towards the end?
Yeah, we haven't played anywhere yet. Your festival will be our first, and we're really excited about that.
That's a lot of fun too. I'll have a lot of fun on that Sunday. It's going to be a lot of returning people, a lot of people that we know in the industry. So it's going to be a blast.
It's really exciting, and a lot of my team is coming. So. So we're really fun because it'll be our first time to see it all together, and we're looking forward to it.
Oh no, it's in a nice set too, so it'll be some good films and everything. It'll be a fun time, so we're excited about that. So, that's great. Are you working on anything new? Are you writing anything or filming right now? Or
I am not filming anything. I might do the New York City 48-hour film project. But I have a lot of screenplays I've written. It's just a matter of what I want to do with them next. So we'll see.
So you started out, you're mainly were a screenwriter?
I started as a playwright, and little by little, my stories became something that couldn't be in one location. And so then I started, writing screenplays. So I've read a couple of things and entered in some festivals and made the rounds in terms of the scripts with some festivals. But this was the first time I created a film that I knew I was going to shoot myself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Yeah. So you have a lot. And like, if someone asks you like, "Oh, do you have this?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I wrote this a while ago. I have
I have a whole portfolio. Yeah. Ready to go.
Did you used to write like a lot of plays for the Black Box Theater?
Yeah, most of my plays were in like small festivals, off Broadway, Black Box Theater stuff. So I'm used to writing very economically, like thinking about location and props and set. And so that it was a good experience. It got me grounded in the fact that you have to realize what everything's going to cost before you start making it. And it still costs way more than you think it's going to.
But you were used to writing for the character, right? I guess just.
My stuff is very character driven. Always has been from the beginning. Yeah, and very female driven, of course, too. So.
No, everyone did a great job. It was a really cool collective cast and everything, so you could tell. And then it was written well, obviously. But no, it was a really good film, so we enjoyed it a lot.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
What about your crew? Did you have many people on the crew? Not too many?
We had a pretty small crew. And we were in tight quarters because we were shooting in an actual house. So but
people staying there too, or like casting crew staying at the house?
No, we learned our lesson doing that once before. No. I stayed in the house, but I knew what a hot set was, and I wasn't going to mess around with it. But that can be dangerous. They stayed at a motel nearby, and it worked out much better that way. But yeah, we had a small crew, but everybody who was on the crew, everyone who joined this project did it because they believed in the story. So everybody was just happy to work and get it right, and we had a good time. Yeah, it was good. It was a good experience.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So do you have any other film festivals coming up after us that you're waiting on, or?
I mean, I've entered quite a few. We'll see what happens, but not yet. But, you know.
Yeah, it's good to be back though. It feels like everything. It's gonna be a good time, I think. So
Yeah.
excited to have almost normalcy back again.
Yeah, and you know what? Being kind of local for the first one is nice, you know. So we're just a jump, a hop, skip, and a jump from Jersey City. So
Where are you based out of?
in Connecticut. So some
Okay.
of my crew lives in Pennsylvania. Some people, one of my actors lives in Pennsylvania. Another lives in New York City. So
It's a nice meeting point. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be easier for them to we'll all meet up.
Yeah, Connecticut. I was just there not too long ago. I was just up in Boston, so I always go from Connecticut to some breweries up there. So I'm not too far. My cousin lives in Scarsdale. We always just shoot up right to Connecticut.
Nice. Connecticut's pretty.
Hit a few places, and we stopped in New Haven for some pizza.
Yeah, always, right?
But that's always a fun trip. It's
Yeah.
not too far. You get to have it's a lot of fun. So I like that. But that's great.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else that you want to add about the film?
No, just that. Well, yes, of course, I could talk about it forever, but just we're really excited for people to see it. I feel like I said, everybody who ended up shooting or working on the film was just really, driven to do that by this story. They believed in the story and they believed in the friendship. And, and a lot of people I know are getting to a certain age where they're hearing these kinds of stories. They're affecting them personally. So, so it rings true for a lot of people. And, so we're just really excited for it to be out there now.
That's great. Well,
yeah.
Well, thanks for joining me for a few minutes.
Oh,
I got a few more to do tonight, but I'm gonna.
Good luck.
See how many I could get done beforehand. I did this during the pandemic, then we continued it. Then I was like, I'm not gonna do this time around. Like, maybe I should. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. So.
Oh well, thanks for doing it.
I had fun. I have some time, so I'm a teacher, so I have summers off. So I'm like, I was being a little lazy, I guess.
I'm glad you did it.
But I love doing this. I love I'm a podcaster, so I love to do some kind of interviews, or because even the day of the fest, there's a lot of people coming in the door, and I'm at the door, and I say hello, and then I don't get to talk to anyone really because I'm there all day, and the day flies by. So this is where I get to meet the filmmakers for the most part, is on here.
Yeah, it's like a wedding. You're the bride or the groom, and you don't get to see anything. You don't remember anything at the end of the day, right?
No, and I'm exhausted, and then we host the awards show, and that's where I get to have fun.
Well, nice to meet you, and thank you, and we'll see you on the 13th.
Absolutely, great.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. All right, let's get started, and we're here with Tia, and you did your film was.
Armed with a dildo.
That's a great title.
Classic. Yeah, absolutely.
What made you come up to title it that?
Honestly, well, we thought about just calling it Armed for a little bit, but then I was like, there's not enough like actual arms. Like I felt like that would be like a movie about mannequins. So I was like, let's just, call it what it is. Hi, sorry, my cat is also very friendly. But yeah, so we just kind of titled that, and I'm always like a sucker for a clickbait sort of thing as well. Like somebody clicking on this expecting something different and then being sucked into like a very unusual story. So that's what we went with Armed with a dildo. So.
I come from the world of Kevin Smith and doing them. So they did the Zack and Murray, which was entitled Make a Porno, but they took that off.
Yeah, I love Kevin Smith. Yeah, what a great creative. Yeah.
So what made you come up with the concept for this film?
So actually, it was Winnie who plays the lead vet in it, the main girl. She had, all of this started at, there's this collaborative film fest in Los Angeles where the whole goal is that you make a film in 2 weeks, mostly with people that you just met there at this like networking event. So we ran into Winnie, and Winnie had this story. Originally, it was in a Spencer's of like, oh, there would be a shooter and a breakup would happen right before the shooter. And then they're in this like life and death situation. And like, what is that like? And my business partner at the time and I were like, we were just really intrigued by that story. We loved like the challenge, especially like doing something at this scale in 2 weeks. Normally we take it just a lot slower. So it just kind of got stuck with us, and we didn't know the quote at the time. And it was this like Martin Luther King Jr. quote about like, to not stay silent about the things that mattered. And we were like, oh wait, her story actually works for this. So we took it, and we were obviously like, I don't think we get a Spencer's in 2 weeks, and like doing the mall stuff would be weird. So we just kind of switched it to a motel room to make that work. But yeah, that's how the story came about. It was all Winnie's brainchild, and then we just kind of made it affordable and indie.
So I was going to ask about the actors, how you get the actors, but I guess all from that program.
Yeah. Originally, we were going to have like the typical, stereotypical white male shooter, but he wasn't interested because there wasn't lines. Although I was laughing because he could have said, if he was like, I want more lines, I would have accommodated him, but he was automatically like, no. So I asked my friend at the time, because I knew there was a gun. So I was like, I should just probably do this with somebody I know and trust and have worked with before. So that's how we came that. And I was like, I love going against casting stereotypes, because I was like, ooh, a woman shooter, that would be really interesting. And it also kind of ended up like both Karuna and Winnie being Asian. I like kind of the dynamic for us, because it's like kind of like what Winnie's character could have become on the shooter, like had just certain circumstances been different. So I really like those parallels.
And it's funny, it's a comedy. Could have been anything else for this project, or you picked comedy, or it had to be comedy, or it had to be a drama? What was the?
Yeah, it was very open-ended onto genre of what we wanted to do for the fest. It's like a little different in a 48-hour that way, because in like a 48-hour they assign you the thing. But this one, it was open-ended. Comedy is just kind of my specialty. It's where I love. I think there are definitely like serious moments we could have played up, but I just love kind of pushing the taboo and just kind of going for it. So yeah, in my heart, it was just the comedy just felt natural to it. So we leaned in hard.
Have you done a project like this before in that quick time, or for this type of a program?
I had personally, like as an actor, been on a couple of 48s and had done like some quick turnaround indie stuff. But as like a producer and more in a filmmaking role, this was definitely like the tightest turnaround. And honestly, like a lot of moving parts. Like we had a stunt choreographer. That was like the first time we'd ever worked with one of those. First time ever really working with a gun in our company. We worked with a knife before, but there's just like little like barriers that normally I would have like taken a longer time, had a police marshal, right? But because we were in that like festival time crunch, and we had never even used, like when you have a gun, you got to think about like the gunshot noises and editing. Like we had never done that. So I was like, I want time during the edit to figure out all of that technicality and making that work. But yeah, I was pretty proud of ourselves for being able to turn it around. And of course, as like every indie filmmaking set, there was always like Murphy's Law of Chaos. Like things went wrong, people dropped out at the last minute because we just met them, right? Like it was just crazy chaos. So I was just happy that it ended up honestly working out. I definitely like to take my time more, but it's like you learn kind of the things, you learn what holds you back when you have to do something on like a really tight deadline, and you learn like, oh, I actually can go quicker on this, and it ends up being okay. And then you also learn like, no, this stuff, it is important to like take the time.
So how much time do you have to edit once it's filmed?
So I think the festival event was on like a Thursday or Wednesday night, and then we wrote like a first draft that Wednesday, then we like re-edited it on Thursday with some of Winnie's notes, and casted by Friday, shopped for all the props because I did not have all of those sex toys at my disposal. Contrary to popular belief. And I also got like a friend to lend his, so that we didn't spend, like, sex toys are very expensive. And then we shot that Sunday. We had like another edit that Monday. We were done about like Wednesday. So it took like 3 days to edit, like 4 days to prep. So we had time kind of in a week beforehand, but I like to get things done early, or else I'm like stressed.
You said your company, your like production company. Do you guys do a lot of comedies, or do you do all different types of films?
Yeah, we primarily focus on comedies just because I think, especially after a pandemic and just all of these terrible things that are happening in the world, like we can all use a laugh more. So that's my specialty. But I also work on mental health documentaries, and we're just in the final leg of our feature, Bake It Till You Make It, which is about this woman, Dana Altman. She lives in Boston, and she uses food to tell like stories with her community about like mental illness, and she's like recovered through an eating disorder. So it's a really powerful kind of feel good mental health documentary. And I got into that world too because I definitely think like the world of comedy and mental health are very linked, but it's not always talked about. So I felt like a lot of mental health documentaries are often like, here's the problem, everybody's super depressed and messed up and we don't know any solutions. And I was like, actually, I want to do documentaries where it's like, yeah, people are struggling, but here's your way through it. So there's a feel goodness. And I think even in like tragic moments and even in mental illness, there are moments to like laugh at. I guess that's the way that I've like coped through some of my problems. So yeah, those are the stuff that we do.
Comedy always heals. That's what I
Yeah, for sure. I 100% believe laughter is a great medicine.
Absolutely. I mean, I got a chance to meet. I actually met Robin Williams,
Oh,
the funniest
cool.
guy ever,
Wow.
and it was just amazing. And then you don't really know what he's gone through because he never talked about it until like later, and his documentaries and stuff, and it's like incredible. But it wasn't
for sure. Even in his time too, like I will say, like now in 2023, the stigma for mental health is so much better than it used to be, even with Robin Williams passing. And I
that was a while ago now, right? That was a long time ago. So
I know it doesn't feel like it.
No.
It feels like, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of advances, a lot of help nowadays, which we do need. Even in schools, I teach in a school, and I teach film in a high school, and it's a lot different now, especially after the pandemic. But we have a lot of mental health things that we go through, and have people to help out with that. And wasn't like that in the past. I never had to go into school.
I know. I think it would have been a lot more useful, and something I'm a big advocate for too is like, they're absolutely right. Like the youth does need mental health help, but also like don't forget about the adults. Like it's not necessarily a younger person's
teachers
problem.
too. Teachers need it too. When they have something happens, they make sure the teachers are okay too.
That's awesome. That sounds like a really good school.
Yeah, well, I guess they had a lot of things going on. So yeah, you have to kind of shift towards that, I guess, especially in this day and age. But anything to help, right? So
yeah.
But yeah, laughter does help, and the film is funny. We got a real kick out of it. It's playing in the comedy block, so I'm sure everyone will laugh when we have a nice, good, funny comedy block. So it'll be a good one.
Yeah, it seems like it's gonna be awesome. I think it's a great movie to watch in a bar too, for sure. Absolutely.
Sure, I'm sure people will laugh and not expect it at first, right? You don't expect it. You see the title, but you still don't expect it really at first, right?
Oh yeah, I don't know I couldn't even imagine. Like it's obviously hard having like been in it and made it, like, but I can't imagine being like, I have no idea what I'm gonna see. You know what I mean? Like going in blind, yeah. Good luck to you.
No, so it'll be an interesting reaction to the crowd. I think it'll be funny.
For sure.
That's awesome. Are you working on anything other comedies right now, or anything else?
So I'm also working on a couple of animations, and the one is like kind of an animated cartoon about a demonic house cat who uses Satan to bring the apocalypse, just so she can spend time alone with her mommy. So very fun. Definitely kind of a Pinky in the Brain sort of, but modern now. So, because I was like, oh, this generation doesn't have a Pinky in the Brain or like a Courage the Cowardly Dog. I want to fix that. Like, you need like a dark, funny comedy.
And animation, it's not easy to do animation. Right? Did you have?
No. It's very expensive, but I'm always like a lover of art, so I think it's worth it. And I got very lucky because I had a friend who knew these Disney animators, Mike Polavani and Dave Woodman, and they've worked on like The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, like just some of the greatest animation movies of all time. So I'm in really good hands because my background is just like like admirer of animation, not by any means like an expert.
I teach film, and we do the claymation, but any other animation, I'm like, I'd love to know how to do it. I just don't.
Oh yeah.
I just don't. So, but there are animation classes that I don't teach, but but I would love to do. That's one thing that I'd love to do in the future. So, congrats on trying that, doing that, because that's on my list too.
Hey, I'm always
to
welcoming other people to come on board. Like for me, it's always like it's a matter of interest, not expertise, because I think everybody's, learning it. Like even every film, you can have all of this background knowledge, but until you go and do the thing, you're learning for the first time. So
yeah, absolutely. So is it your film here? Is it playing in? Has it played in other festivals so far? Is this
no? This is the first one.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm really excited.
Are you waiting on some others? You put it into some other
for sure. Yeah, I've submitted it to like a couple of other ones.
You probably do really well at comedy festivals and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of great competition though nowadays. So
Yeah.
I never have my hopes up with a film festival. You just kind of submit to see. And I think even if it gets into one, I'm like, okay, it worked out. Like
it's hard. It's hard with comedy because so many festivals. Like I judge for a lot of different festivals, and it's just all different judges have so much different backgrounds of comedy or what they like and don't like. And it's like you could have something so funny to somebody, and the other judge is like, I don't like it. I'm like, why?
Yeah. Oh,
So
absolutely.
hard.
This is definitely like risque, raunchy comedy, and I understand that is not everybody's, but that's the stuff like I grew up on, so I love like just kind of going for it. I just generally feel a lot of comedies these days are just like they're too safe, and then they're not funny because the way that I was taught comedy is it's like 1, 2, 3 pineapple, right? Like it's the unexpected. It's that thing that's interesting and weird and not safe at all.
I grew up watching Animal House up to American Pie.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love
movies,
American Pie.
They don't exist anymore. They don't make those anymore. They're gone.
It's sad a little bit. Those were fun times. Like, yeah.
I mean, the raunchy comedy. I mean,
it's life sometimes. There are moments of life that are so ridiculously laughable and raunchy that, I think you got to have it on film.
I was talking to another actor, filmmaker who will be at the festival, and he was in Porky's 2.
Oh, cool.
That was his first film, like the Porky's, and I'm like, that's a classic. But they would never. They don't even show that on TV anymore.
Yeah.
You don't see that. I mean, it was raunchy. That was raunchy.
Yeah.
Raunchy.
I think people are just too worried about like getting canceled and being offensive and stuff. And like, I hear that, like I understand that, but I'm also like, what's life without a little risk,
You have to do it. So congrats for doing that.
Thanks. Yeah. Maybe I'll tone it down in some of my other ones. Maybe.
Go for it.
Yeah.
All those National Lampoons made so many good ones for so many years, and then they just kind of disappeared. So, but yeah, we need that. We need that kind of comedy. You got to keep it strong. Keep it out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just can't show it to any of my high school students.
Oh, absolutely no. But they'll age one day.
They'll age. I tell them
it's definitely an 18 and over film.
If I say something or mention something like American Pie, and they say, "Oh, we never saw it," I'm like, I'm not saying I can't show it. I can't show it, but if you want to laugh, go.
I watched American Pie in high school, and then the following Halloween, my best friend and I were like the cop in the like stripper costume. So I don't know if that was a good influence. It led me to make this film, so I guess people can decide.
I'll never forget seeing that in the movie theater, and I laughed so hard. And I was like, but yeah, I have not laughed in a movie theater like really like any feature film, and I can't remember.
Yeah, I laughed at Barbie. Barbie was pretty good. Barbie had some moments for me. Yeah, but it's been rare. Yeah.
Maybe like sometimes, like leaving a Marvel film, I'll have a joke or comedy here or there, but that's not what I mean. Oh
yeah.
You need like
most Marvel jokes, I feel like I'm laughing out of the cringe worthiness. It's like the dad pun, right?
Yeah. So hopefully you could bring that back. That would be awesome.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But you have anything else that would you want to add about the film?
Yeah, I hope it gives you guys a laugh. Obviously I am also an advocate of like, hey, don't shoot people, you know. We can use a little bit of that. And I included a link at the end of the film if you're interested in like kind of supporting because I if I had more time and it wasn't in a 2-week thing, I think I would have covered the gun narrative more because I think the way we conquer that in American film is very interesting. But either way, like I hope it's a good laugh. I hope it draws you closer to your romantic interest because it's a little bit of a love story, and I hope you have a good time watching it. And thanks so much for putting it in the Brightside Festival. And this is so awesome. So
awesome. Well, thanks for joining me for a few minutes.
yeah, thanks for having me. You have a great rest of your evening.
I'll put this up in a few, like a couple days probably. I got a bunch of them. I got to start putting them up. So
okay, cool, awesome.
I'll get to it. It's summer for me. I'm getting a little lazy.
Oh yeah, no, and obviously being a school teacher, like I can't imagine like not wanting to just couch potato the whole summer.
And I'm all over. I'm working on this film and this project and this and never stops. So I had to push everything because I was at a film event earlier.
Wow. Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
It's just an addiction. I can't stop.
Yeah, it's a good addiction. There could definitely be worse, for sure. All right. You have a great one.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.